Hey everyone, and welcome to my chaotic mess. If you're new here, my name's Melissa. Today we're going to do something new. I know I haven't posted videos for you guys in a while, and the only excuse I have is I'm trying to adjust to the new pain level, and it's a lot. Today I really am hurting a lot, but if I don't do the things I want to do with the pain, they're never going to get done. And I want to make chicken broth. So we're making chicken broth for the very first time because I will show you what Justin bought me. Ignore all this. We're working on another project. Justin bought me this Nesco. It is a smart canner and cooker, so it's not designated solely as a canner, which is why I'm a little skeptical of it and why I haven't taken the Presto one off my wish list yet. But if this works, like, it literally does have canning settings. You can even water bath can in this, which is nice. I don't plan on using it as a slow cooker, pressure cooker, or whatever else that button is. I want to use it solely as a canner. So if it works, it's going to be great. So that I keep this book handy because I'm still learning this machine for sure. But let's come over here. Again, ignore, we're working on a project. All the china is out and about. It's the best place I have to keep it protected without wrapping every individual piece in bubble wrap and putting it in a box. And it's not a long-term project, so I didn't see it necessary. Anyway, not important. This is inverted for you, I'm sorry, because I'm using front face cam. But I am using my pressure canning cookbook. I don't want to take it off the stand because it took forever to get it on there last night. I love my book stand, but it doesn't really like the heavy cookbooks. And so that's the downfall of it. It was cheap. What should I expect, right? I need to start spending more money on things. Anyway, last night I set myself up for success because I cleaned everything. I cleaned everything. I know this looks messy, but like, I wiped down all the counters, the stove, everything got wiped down. I went ahead and got my cutting board out, my carrot, what is it called, peeler. I sharpened 2 knives because you never know. I went ahead and got the onions up because I knew those would be fine. Bay leaves because I knew those would be fine, and I got the pepper and salt out as well. I do have everything else except for one of the chickens, but we're doing 2 batches, so we're going to use the older chicken first that was in the freezer, and then I have a fresh whole chicken for the second batch of broth. It's a thing. It's fine. I was hoping I would be able to do a 3rd batch, but I do not have enough jars because the pickle jars the regular mouth lids or the wide mouth lids wouldn't work on those, and so I don't have enough jars to do 3 batches. So I might not have enough jars to do 2 batches because I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quarts and 5 pints. Actually, I have 6 pints because I have 1 in the sink here that I could clean up and use if I have to. So that's all I'm going to say. You know, it is what it is, and that's life, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get all of our vegetables out, our chicken. Let's just get everything in the pot, get started, because it's gonna take a little while. Also, I'm using my water bath canning pot because it's the biggest pot I have, and it should be fine. I've seen other people cook in their water bath canning pots. It's basically just a glorified camping pot. I love it, but like, I'm hoping it will work to cook in because I do not water bath can enough. Like I plan to. It's just limited things that I would put on my pantry shelf that I can water bath can. Like I don't eat a lot of bread anymore, so jelly, it's like, why? There was other things that in that book that I wanted to try, but I'm like, I don't, pickles are about the only thing, and I failed. Everyone else seemed to like the pickles, but I did not. I thought they tasted bread and buttery, and it is what it is. I'm gonna try a different pickle recipe that I found online that claims that it tastes exactly like Vlasic. So that is a future video, probably. I don't know. But I could water bath can that, which would be this one. That one also water bath cans, but this holds more jars. So anyway, we're gonna see how this does with the broth. Basically, it's the test of this pot for cooking, because if it doesn't do well, I'm going to have to buy a huge stock pot like this, which means I'm going to have to figure out more storage. All right, we're going to try to ignore the wasp. I don't know how we got in the house. Anyway, these are some chicken thighs. They're bone and skin on that I bought by accident over a year ago, and we have eaten a couple of the packets just because, you know, when you have no meat, you eat what you got, right? So anyway, let's see if I can get these. I don't want the knife to really cut. I mean, they're not thawed, they're frozen, so I know that's probably not the point, but there's a paper on them. You gotta get the paper off. Great. All right. Hold on while I get the paper off. All right, and as Jessica would say, when you touch raw meat, wash your effing hands, and I did. So I have her cookbook, by the way, and I love it. I think I told you guys this. I have her cookbook, and she does say that in the directions of her cookbook. I absolutely love it. Anyway, the chicken's in there. Now we just gotta get all this other crap in there. And now we gotta add 4 gallons of water. Hopefully that'll all fit. But what I'm gonna do though, is I'm gonna save like all the spices and the garlic for last after I put the water in, because they're not gonna do much and it'd be easier to stir them in that way. So anyway, we're gonna do the onions first. I have my little compostables here. My composter is right there. So if I need to dump things, not that big of a deal. So let me get you guys adjusted to where I want you and we'll get started. All right, so let's just talk about this. This was actually a very tiring but humbling experience. Like, I did so much different the second batch because I was like, I've watched people make chicken broth and stock before and they always put the skins and stuff in. What am I doing? And so the next time around, I just washed everything, chopped it, and threw it in. Like, chopped it into quarters and stuff like that. Left the skins on, everything else, just washed it really good and put it in. So you'll see that. Because I'm pretty sure I showed the second batch being made as well. But I learned so much from this experience and how to do things a little bit differently. And I do have a bigger stock pot on my wish list because I I will tell you, I will do a spoiler alert. I did not strain this chicken broth. I know it says to strain it, you know, to get all the little herbs and stuff out. Like there's no chunks of chicken or anything in the broth. That I did take out. I took the chunks of vegetables and the chunks of chicken out. So all that was left was like the little herbs and stuff. And I know you're supposed to like strain it through a fine mesh sieve to get all of that out. But I did not have another receptacle that I could strain into really to get. I mean, I know like this did go down by like maybe a quarter of what it was, but even my bigger stock pot probably would not have been enough to continue to cook it down a little or to keep it warm because you need to keep it warm for canning in the pressure canner, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I've seen other people pressure can from cold, but like, I don't know if you actually can. Like, maybe they just were doing something they shouldn't be doing because it says to put it hot liquid. Now, it did not say I needed to heat my jars up, and I've seen other people say you need to have your jars hot. So the book didn't tell me to do it, so I didn't do it. Anyway, in case when you get to that, you see, oh my God, she didn't heat her jars up. Well, the book didn't tell me the jars needed to be hot. So, anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I learned a lot. And when I go to do beef broth, which I need to go get beef bones or either just buy some beef that has a bone in it. So anyway, I know how to do things next time. It's basically my whole point of this whole conversation with you guys. All right, now we're gonna add all the spices. Let's start with garlic. Now it said 2 heads of garlic, but let me tell you, the 1 head of garlic was $4.99. This bag of already peeled garlic cloves was like $4.29. And when I Googled how many cloves of garlic are typically in a head, it said 10 to 12. So I'm like, you know what? We're just doing this because I would have needed 4 heads of garlic otherwise. And this, oh, you know what? I probably needed 2 of these. If I have to run to the store later to get another bag of garlic, I will. But we'll see. Do 22, and there's plenty in there for the second batch. So, and then let's see, parsley. I have this. It's Italian parsley, not flat leaf parsley, so I hope it'll be fine. But the whole bunch. I know I probably should have washed that first. It's fine. A bunch of thyme. Should I wash the thyme? Yeah, I'll wash the thyme because it's kind of branchy, but. Ah! All right, dump that in there. And then it's 4 sprigs of oregano. So I only bought 1 of these because it looked like there were more than 4 sprigs in here. I might have been wrong. What is a sprig? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll do 4. That's fine. That goes back in the fridge with everything else. in the pot. Don't worry, my hands are clean. And then 2 bay leaves. I don't know if I have enough bay leaves for both. I do. That's all the bay leaves I have. I'm sure it wanted fresh bay leaves. I don't have fresh bay leaves. And then pepper, we need a tablespoon of pepper. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of pepper. And salt has me a little weirded out because it says 1 teaspoon. That doesn't seem like a lot, but we're gonna roll with it because maybe because it's big salt, it's like coarse salt. Anyway, we're gonna turn this on medium-high heat and we're gonna give it a stir. All right, and then we're gonna put the lid on and let that come up to a boil, and then we're gonna simmer for an hour. Okay, 1 hour check-in, still not boiling. I went ahead and turned it up a little higher. I think I turned it all the way up to high heat. I don't think these books were written for people with flat top stoves. I have a flat top stove, not a coil or a gas stove. And so I've noticed, because as you know, at my last house, I had a coil stove for a while. And I noticed that the things would come up to a boil faster than they did on the flat top stove, and definitely with a gas stove. I wish I had a gas stove. I absolutely love cooking on gas stoves, but you know, we don't have gas in this house and it's fine. I think if I ever built another house, I didn't build this house, by the way, but we have built a house before, or had a house built. Anyway, if I ever did that again, I think I would have natural gas put in the kitchen, and I would have a line outside for a grill. Will you move? He is not letting me be straight, so he's like blocking me from turning my chair. Come on, in or out? Anyway, he was waiting for Mischief to move. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, we're still waiting for it to boil. The water level hasn't gone down any, so that's good. It is smelling pretty good, so that's also good, because my biggest worry is it's not going to taste good. I've never made chicken broth, like full-on chicken broth before. I've boiled chicken before and kind of used that water as broth and like whatever side I was cooking, but I've never full-on did the whole with vegetables and stuff like that. That's the washing machine. I have the washing machine going, and so it's like throwing me off with the sounds. Anyway, I'm doing a lot, but I'm not doing a lot today. That's all I can say. Like, I'm making broth and I'm doing laundry. And when I say I'm doing laundry, I'm just washing and drying the clothes. They'll get folded eventually. I do have last week's clothes I still need to fold, so I probably maybe do those tomorrow. I don't know. I hate laundry so much. And my back is still hurting from starting the broth. Like, I thought it was going to be fine. Like, I'd be able to get all the vegetables peeled, cut, and in there quickly and be able to sit down before my back started hurting. It didn't happen. The book, I'm following the book pretty much to a T this time. I know I've watched people on YouTube make broth and they didn't peel the carrots, they just washed them really well. And I peeled the carrots because the book says to peel the carrots. The book says to trim up your celery, and take the leaves off. And it also says to take the skin off the onions. But I've also seen people make broth with just washing the onions and cutting it into quarters. So I'm following the book this time. I've also never seen them make broth with all the herbs I put in it, but that's what the book has. And if I like the flavor of this broth, I want to get an inside herb garden. I've already put one on my wish list on Amazon because I'm going to buy it regardless. I'm not going to buy it. Someone will probably buy it for me for my birthday or Christmas. If I need it before then, I'll buy it. But like, what was the saying? I don't remember. Anyway, but it'd be, I know what I was saying. If I grow my own herbs that I would put in my own canning projects, it would be so much cheaper because those herbs were not cheap. And if I also, the secondary option would be finding a store that sells them in like bulk, I would say, like where you could go in. And I was thinking maybe Whole Foods. And we do have a Whole Foods down off, I think, San Jose, which is across the bridge, but I mean, I could go there, that's fine. All right, so update. We are to the boiling stage. I have a minute and about a minute left for it to boil, and then I gotta turn it down to a simmer, and we gotta let it simmer uncovered for 1 hour, and then we get to, I think, we have to skim it, like get all the crap out, and then we can jar it. So yeah, that's where we're at with the broth, and then I will update you once we get to the scooping everything out part. Don't worry, the chicken I'm going to peel apart. We'll baggie that. We'll have it for a meal one day. The carrots and celery I'm giving to Stitch. Everything else will be disposed of, but that's fine. I'm hoping it tastes good. I'm really hoping it tastes good. Like, looking at it right now, it still looks weird. It looks watery. Actually, it's getting color now. It's getting some color. There's that. So we're gonna turn that down to a simmer, and yeah. The good news is I think the chicken is completely thawed because now it is floating. Before it was just sitting on the bottom. It's looking good. It really is looking good. And I hope it tastes good. I've never made broth. I've already told you that I've never actually made broth before. It smells really good. So I just hope it has enough salt in it. That's my biggest concern, is because I do not buy like low sodium or no salted broth. I always buy normal broth, and it's technically like high in sodium, but I use it as like if I'm making like rice or something like that, I use it as the salt aspect in that recipe, or so I don't know. I guess I could leave it as is if it's got a semi-good flavor but needs salt, and then just remember I need to add salt to the recipes, or I could add more salt potentially, but I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna let this simmer for an hour. I've been watching Ugly Betty. This took 2 hours to come up to a boil. 2 hours. So I don't think we're going to get to the second batch today. That might be a tomorrow thing, but it will get done because I have to use the ingredients before they go bad. Obviously, I don't want to waste that. So we're going to do this and get this done. I'm going to save the bones because I can make bone broth with it. And I'm fine with that. It's because I cannot talk. I cannot talk. So yeah, save the bones. I'm gonna save these bones and the bones from the whole chicken, and then that's what I was gonna use to make my third batch, which would technically be bone broth. And then I could discard it because it did say, one of the things I read said that you could use the bones and make a second batch of broth with those. So we're going to utilize that and get as much as we can out of the to the 2 chickens. These are technically chicken thighs. The other one's a whole chicken. Next time, like in the future, I will always just use whole chickens. It's fine, but because they're not very expensive. Granted, I shop at Publix. Everyone thinks Publix is super expensive, and could I have gotten the chicken a little cheaper somewhere else? Probably. And next time I'll probably check Sam's Club because that's where we normally buy our meat from. But for now, it is what it's my first time doing it, so I just wanted to get the stuff. Next time I will put a little more effort into trying to make it a little more cost effective. Granted, it still comes out cheaper than what a carton of broth would have cost me, so that's fine. In the long, once I can it all out, it comes out cheaper. You guys know what I mean. Anyway, I will update you guys when it's time for an update. All right, no real update. It's not even been maybe 10 minutes, but I just went and stirred. I need to buy a bigger stirring thing, bigger than a normal spoon. I need to buy a bigger one, so that's on my list now, to buy a longer. I need to measure this so I can find a longer spoon, or something just to stir, because I like to come in and stir every now and then so nothing is sticking to the bottom. Again, I don't know how good of a cooking pot this is because it's intended to water bath cans. So yeah, anyway, I'll update you guys later. It's time to string. I have my 2 tools, starting with the spider just because it can pick up more, and this will get anything little that the spider doesn't get because it does have this in it. It is what it is. Also, probably should make this stuff good. Just I want to try to get the chicken last. Should I have tasted it first? Let's taste it. It tastes like water. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this back down. I'm gonna add probably some more salt and stuff. I'll get back to you. Okay, So I added more salt to it. We're gonna see if that helps it, because it tastes like water and that's horrible. That's just the worst. I'm thinking it's because, like, the book says 2 to 4 pounds of chicken, and I use 2 pounds of chicken. The whole chicken I have is way more than that, so I think the next batch will be more chickeny flavored. Like, the water broth that I normally make is so good. Like, it has a chicken flavor. This has no chicken flavor at all. So that's where we're at. We're gonna see. I put it on high again to bring it up to a boil again, and then we'll maybe it just needs to boil longer. I don't know. We're gonna see. Like, it tastes like herb flavored water. There's no other there. It's not. It needed more salt for sure. I added more salt. I literally just grabbed like a pin like this. I went in the bag, and so I probably, if I had to guess, 2 more teaspoons of salt is what I added. I mean, it's 4 gallons of water, so I don't know why they thought a teaspoon of salt was enough. I don't understand these recipes sometimes, because, like, I went to culinary school, and like a teaspoon of salt is less than what we would put on a piece of chicken. Probably not. A teaspoon of salt is probably what we would put on chicken. Probably half a teaspoon, but still, you get my point. Like, a teaspoon is very small, and I read it multiple times, and it says teaspoon. I really think it maybe should have said tablespoon. That's just my personal opinion, but I know with pressure canning you can adjust the recipes, so I'm fine with that. We are going to be making canned sloppy joe in the future. Next time I go to Sam's Club, I'm literally getting a whole thing of meat, because we eat sloppy joes quite a bit because it's an easy go-to recipe for me. And I read through the recipe, and it's basically exactly how I make my sloppy joes, minus the bell peppers, which we'll just leave those out. So we're going to make canned sloppy joe, and obviously I need to buy more jars before I can do anything else. But yeah, I'm so excited. I don't, let's just hope and pray, bringing this back up to a boil. I'm going to let it boil for about 10 minutes this time, and then let it simmer again for about 30 minutes or so. It's definitely going to be the only canning project I get done today, so the other batch will be done tomorrow. And we'll just know up front to add more salt. I probably will, depending on what this tastes like in the end, with just adding a half a teaspoon of salt. I probably will put a whole tablespoon of salt tomorrow. I don't know it, because I'm using Himalayan sea salt, which is still sea salt, and it says use sea salt, but I wouldn't think that the Himalayan part would make that big of a difference. You can let me know if you're a canner. You can let me know, because it does not make a difference in the recipes. Like, when you're making normal food, it's no different. Like, there's no different taste in the Himalayan compared to just normal sea salt, compared to iodized salt. I just stopped using iodized salt because I read somewhere it's not good for you, but then, like, somewhere else said that people are starting to have lower, whatever iodized is, I guess iron, I don't know, starting to have lower that in their system, because they've all switched to sea salt. I think someone's outside. Anyway, we'll check that here in a minute. But anyway, that's what's going on with the broth. Okay. It's got a little bit better of a flavor, but it still tastes like water. It is what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and jar it up, and I'll just write on there the label, what it is, the date, and that it needs more salt for sure. So definitely whatever I did, like the pinch of the next thing was not enough. A pinch, like it wasn't enough salt. Literally, like, right, I'll show you guys here in a minute, but it literally says, oh, it says 2 teaspoons. I only put 1 teaspoon, but the second one I just added, and it's obviously not enough. Like not just added, I added it an hour ago. If I let this keep cooking, and also I think I'm gonna smash the cloves of garlic a little to get a little bit more garlic flavor in it. I don't know, I love garlic, so. All this goodness needs to be strained. Okay. I think that's it for this spoon. Let's get this spoon out and see if there's anything. There's a couple peppercorns. And you know what? That is fine. Whatever is there is fine. This has to cool. I'm gonna bring the jars over and ladle up. We'll start with 4. Which, like, I'm gonna bring more over. Bring them all over. I'm actually, let's see, it says 7 quarts. That's 7. I'll put an 8th one there just in case. And then we need our canning funnel. Let me rinse it. Let's get jarring. I have a feeling it was supposed to reduce a lot more because it didn't reduce hardly anything at all. Maybe that's why it tastes so watery, because it didn't reduce down long enough. Let me read this and see if it was supposed to. It doesn't say. I feel like this is gonna give me. I'm gonna have to order more jars, basically, to make my second batch, because I have to make a second batch because I bought the darn chicken. See, I'm already at 4 quarts, and this isn't even halfway gone. Should I put this back in and let it simmer longer? Give me a minute. I'm gonna actually Google something. Okay, so I just Googled. It said that I should let it reduce more. So that's what we're going to do, because I'm already at 4 jars, which means I have technically 3 jars to go according to the book that it's supposed to make. And that's how much is left. That's probably enough for like 15 more jars. And I don't have 15 more jars. So I'm going to do what it says online, and I'm going to let it reduce more. I obviously need to grab a pot holder to dump all this back in. I'll dump all the veggies and stuff back in. It'll be fine. I'll come back to you when we're actually canning this. Okay, so, oh man, what is with my hair? I feel like my forehead's getting bigger, which probably means my hair is all falling out and I'm just got a big receding hairline. Anyway, as you can tell, probably, maybe, I don't know, it's several days later. We started this project Monday. I ran out of jars and had to order more for the second batch. The first batch, this is the second batch, and I've already done 6 jars of the second batch. I will explain to you why I waited. I was having anxiety over using the pressure canner, so I did it with my husband like the first few times till I got comfortable with it, and now I'm pretty comfortable with it. And so I figured, I don't know if this is going to be the last batch or not, but I figured let me get the last part of my video done so I can at least show you guys the jarring process and then going over to the canner. I've already put the water in the canner. I just don't like dumping out the water that's already in it and just to put new water in it. So there's a light straight through the forest. I know there's a school over there, but I've never seen a light before, so that's weird. Nope, it's not my kitchen light, because no matter where I move I see it. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is I kept it on low because it needs to be hot. I'm using a measuring cup that is way too big, but my kitchen's a disaster. I need to load the dishwasher. It is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started and get these filled up. So I have the funnel. I have 2 funnels. This up here is going to be my canning cabinet, and so I moved all my cookbooks today. I have to order more jelly jars because our next project is strawberry jelly, which is water bath canning, which I've done before with pickles and apple butter, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. I did not fine mesh sieve strain this. I just used a spider. I honestly don't care. And so far, all of the jars have been holding. I've even rechecked the jars I've already done this week and made sure their seal is still good. I really don't mind like if some of the peppercorns and stuff get in it. If I missed some, is basically what I'm saying. Like this, I have a fine mesh sieve, but that's like another dish, and ooh, that's way too much. No, it's not. That's perfect. Anyway, for some reason, these new jars are wider, so the pressure canner only holds 3 of them instead of 4. Which is fine. It takes longer when you're doing less jars. We're gonna have another batch. So probably not a full batch, probably a jar or 2. Actually, I might say if it's only going to be a jar, I will probably save it and use it Did you see that? I literally picked this up and was gonna, oh my God. I'm making potato soup tomorrow. So that might, whatever's left in this, I'm gonna get out my pot for potato soup that I'm gonna use for potato soup and pour it in that and see, but we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Now we gotta clean the rims with vinegar, and I've just been finding a spot with the rag and my finger. You know, I used to hate the smell of vinegar. I don't know if it's like as you get older sort of situation, like it doesn't bother you as much. Honestly, don't mind the smell of it anymore. It actually doesn't smell that bad. I feel like this one could use some more, but all right. And I know some of y'all are in the comments going, oh my God, that's so wrong. And you're probably right, but like how I want to do things. I tighten them once I get the towel to carry them over. So, all right, I'm going to move you over there. All right, so we got to plug it in. I forgot about that part. Hold on. All right, now we lock it. I don't know if it necessarily means anything if you have it locked or not before. Anyway, make sure you have it on exhaust. Hit low pressure. All of them are different. I have a Nesco, and it was only like, it was less than $200. So if you're looking for one, this has been working great. 25 minutes, and then it's going to beep when it registers, and then it's going to beep again when it gets to, wait, I lied. It's going to beep when it gets to the E's, which means it's got pressure, and then it's going to beep again when it does the countdown from E. It goes like E10 all the way down to E0, and then that is when you flip it to seal, and then from there it will count down. I don't know what it's doing. You just shut off. Oh, I forgot to hit start. That helps a lot if you hit start. I'm sure some of y'all were yelling at me, hey, hit start, idiot. Anyway, then once it hits E0, it will be 3 times, and then it will start the 25-minute countdown. And then once it finishes, it will do a long beep telling you to come unplug it. For some reason, you have to unplug it. So you unplug it and then let it sit in there for an hour to an hour and a half before you touch it. And this will be the last round because that should be more than enough broth for my potato soup tomorrow. And instead of dirtying a jar, I'm just going to put it in the pot and put the pot in the refrigerator. Speaking of refrigerators, you know, we cleaned it and this is what it's looking like. This is some chicken. I've got to decide if I really want to pick off the bone or not. It's dry as hell, so if I do, it'll go in a bag for Stitch maybe. Or I might be able to soak it in something to give it a little moisture and make it into, I don't know. I have to decide if I'm doing, this is a jar of broth just to use randomly. It was the last little bit of my first batch, and I was not gonna pressure can one jar, so I put one of the plastic lids on it, and just stuck it in the fridge. And yeah, so I need to figure out where I'm gonna put the pot. Maybe, because I have to let it cool off anyway, so I have plenty of time. But yeah, I will come back when this is doing something else. I thought about just doing like a time lapse for you guys and leaving it on there so you can see it. Actually, maybe I will, because I don't really need my phone. I'll do that. Okay, it's finally done and ready to open. It is midnight. Like 10 minutes till midnight, okay? I am ready to go lay down. I'm not gonna go to sleep. So I'm not even gonna lie to you and say I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm just ready to go lay down and read. And these are done. These things are nerve-wracking, but oh, and that's why, because for one, I'm just not comfortable with them, and for two, nope. No. Ow. Okay. Son of a bitch. Sorry about the language. Hopefully that just did not jeopardize the seal on those. I'm just going to use the towel. Even though it says not to pick them up by the bat, it's fine. You're doing that with this, and this is just pain in the ass. That just woke my husband up, so. Anyway, they're all out, and they gotta cool completely overnight. These two I'm gonna have to double check. Let me just put a little dot on them so I remember that. To double check them tomorrow. I cannot believe. See, I told you guys I hate those. They've never slipped that bad. Like, I've always been able to like tighten it and catch it. That was bad. Like, I couldn't grab it. It is what it is. Anyway, so I will be back tomorrow when we clean those up, and I should be showered and nice and clean tomorrow. So not that I'm nasty now, I just need to wash my hair. This is all dry shampoo that's doing this, and it is what it is. I really think maybe I'm gonna cut bangs. I don't know, because like my forehead is really foreheading, so let me know. Do you guys think I should cut some bangs? Last time I had bangs, they cut them so short. She cut them when they were wet, and I was mad about that. So when they were wet, they were like right here, but when they dried, they were up here. I was so mad about that I haven't gotten bangs since then. but my forehead is really foreheading lately, and I'm really thinking maybe I should get bangs. So let me know. Maybe it's like the weight loss that's like making me more insecure. Like right here, I feel like I have nothing there. I feel like anyway, I'm not gonna get into the body insecurities with you in this video. I am gonna make another video about my weight loss and all the insecurities I'm facing now, and how, you know, just a whole bunch of stuff about that. And so I will be making a video about that. But for this video, I will see you back tomorrow after I wake up, have my shower, and all that stuff. Plus, I need to dump this and clean this so I can get it put away. I don't know where I'm going to store this yet. I still have to go through the kitchen. I think I told you guys in a video, we're having a community yard sale, but honestly, I don't think we're going to end up doing anything with it because he's still working on the project, and the yard sale is not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. And I just don't want to, like, you know, rush him, because it's a project that I really want to be perfect, and there's no rushing perfection. But I also wanted to set up in the garage because I cannot be moving things in and out. So, because most of the stuff is heavy, like the big furniture and stuff is heavy, and so I just wanted to set up in the garage. And I don't know, I think he's just gonna have to take a weekend off sometime for us to do a yard sale, which sucks, but it's not really how I would want to spend my weekend. But also, we've tried Facebook Marketplace on some of the items and they just aren't moving. And I get it, like chunky furniture's out right now, and if I had the space in my living room, I would totally keep my end tables and my coffee table. But I had the coffee table in here for a while and it was fine when we had the couch set up. But now that it's set up the way it is, the coffee table just makes it more claustrophobic. So I think in the future, if I decide I want another coffee table, maybe I'll get a smaller one, but also we're gonna get a sectional that actually works in our space. And I don't foresee us getting anything smaller than this place in the future if we do happen to move, because I think we'll talk about it in a different video, because this video is already going to be very long. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me know about the bangs. All right, don't look too closely. I have not showered yet. I just put clothes on. Anyway, I didn't wake up till noon, people. Leave me be. I stood up all night. I stayed up most of the night after I went to bed. When I say I'm going to bed, half the time I'm going back there to read. Anyway, I ended up finishing the book I was currently reading, and it was only at 60% when I started, so I read 40% of the book last night. Normally, I only read maybe 15 to 20% a night, if that. So it was quite a night. Anyway, let's untwist these and check the seals. So first, I usually press and make sure they don't like do the clickety click thing, which I thought for sure these two, because these two are the ones I marked to check. I thought for sure these two would probably be clickety clickety. ahead and get these washed. I wash them with vinegar. I know you don't have to do that, but for me, I figured it's like rubbing alcohol for food, so. But these ones, for some reason, the jars are all weird, so. Oh, I forgot to check. I always check to see if there's any leaks. And then I do the finger test as well. That one can go back there. This one just popped. So did this one. Failed seal. Yeah, see, failed seal. Failed seal. All right, so 2 failed seals. I have to Google to see if I can put a different lid on it and try it again. I'm sure I could. So 2 failed seals out of 2, 4, 6, 7, plus I have another like 12 more. No, hold on, let's actually go see. We have 7 there. I'm not a good math person, just ignore my pantry. It's my next thing to change. Anyway, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more quarts and 1, 2, 3, 5 pints. So 1 bad seal out of all those. I'm not gonna complain. So I'm gonna Google, see if I can reseal those 2 that did not seal. And then we're gonna label these. So give me 1 moment to Google. Okay, Google said I can redo it, not with these lids obviously, but I have to reheat everything. So what I'm gonna do, because I just don't, I'm cooking dinner already. Like I'm making potato soup, so I'm cooking dinner. And I just really need to clean the house today. So what I'm gonna do is put this in the fridge and probably work on it tomorrow. If not, I have these molds that I can put in the freezer and I can make blocks of broth. So that's an idea. Or maybe I'll make another soup or something where I need 2.5 quarts of chili, or 2.5 quarts of chili. See, I really want chili, but I usually make my chili with tomato soup. Maybe I try it with broth. Is it really chili at that point? Who knows? Anyway, let's get back to what I do next. These have all had a moment to dry off because I was checking dates. Now all I do, you can't even see. There we go. Can you see? Yeah. All I do is write what it is and the date. So today is, I don't even know. 18th. Today's the 18th. So also I used to be able to write so much nicer, but my arthritis has been really bothering me. Oh my God, I did it again. I don't know why I keep wanting to write the year in the middle. Is there a country that does that? 1826. Could you imagine if we had an apocalypse and someone broke into my house and stole my broth and they were like, girl, can't write. Poor soul. She couldn't write. And yes, I know I took myself out of that equation that, you know, someone broke into my house, because obviously I would not survive the apocalypse because I have too many health problems. Could you imagine me not going without my diabetes medication? I would die probably. So I'm not type 1, so I have that for me. I could possibly be cured. Although one of my doctors said that she thought even if I lost 200 pounds, I'd still be diabetic. So there's that for me, right? Gotta love genetics, because apparently type 2 diabetes can be a genetic thing. It's not necessarily a because you're fat thing. So anyway, I'm going to put these away and then I'll be done with this video. So let me just do that and do the outro. And just like that, we are semi back to normal. I still have to clean this whole kitchen. But that is going to be for later today. I really do need to sit down. Anyway, this was my first pressure canning time. I'm hoping to do a lot more. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more canning, because I plan on making jelly next. That is not pressure canning recipe, that's a water bath canning recipe, but I'm planning on using this to try out the water bath feature because it has a water bath feature on it. So that's my plan. So let me know if you want me to make that a video. I'm hoping I get this edited and uploaded before I start that, so maybe I'll just do it anyway, but you guys can let me know if you like watching my canning videos. They do take a lot out of me, so it's not like they're going to be back to back to back to back. Well, for me anyway. They might be for you at my rate of videoing, but I have very few things that I can actually do anymore. So this one is one of them, because it's kind of like a put everything in a pot and go sit down for a little while. The jelly's probably going to be a little bit different, so there's that. I do have to buy I'm doing frozen berries, which I googled, and it said that frozen berries were fine because they are frozen at their peak freshness or something like that. So I do have to buy like a small bag of frozen strawberries to make the quantity up that I need to double the recipe, because I don't want any strawberries left. Like, I just don't want that. So do I need 10 jars of jelly? No, but I'll probably give some to my family. if they want any, and they'll be fine. They last a long time in the jars, so it should be fine. Anyway, I'm gonna let everyone go, and if you're new here, how do I do my outro again? Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.